I'm at the local amusement park in Charlotte, North Carolina, where there's a uniquely engineered Tesla Supercharger station to bring to you part 2 of how to charge a Cadillac LYRIQ at Tesla Supercharger stations, now that the Tesla Supercharger stations are open to General Motors customers. And this is the key that unlocks, to quote Emperor Palpatine, okay, what drew me to this particular supercharger, there's multiple in the Charlotte area, but this particular one is unique because it was recently engineered, and these two stalls right here, as you can see, have the pedestals turned in order to allow someone with a charging dock in the driver's side front or somewhere in the front in order to pull in nose first and not take up an extra stall. This is important. If you look here at these stalls, they're designed for a Tesla to back in and on the driver's side back panel plug into the supercharger in the stall that I'm currently standing on with this dispenser here. Now, if I pulled in nose first with the LYRIQ, what would happen is I would be in this stall charging on this dispenser. So I would be basically taking up 2 spaces. Now, this is a problem, and it's going to be a problem for a while. The nice thing is Tesla has built superchargers with enough stalls where generally they're not at capacity, so there's extra spaces. Plus, lots of the superchargers that are being built nowadays have those additional stalls that have the pedestals turned. Sometimes they're designed for people to do pull-through for the Cybertrucks that's coming online, but this is definitely advantageous. Now let's talk about this stall right here. What this is for, and you see these at a lot of superchargers that have been built for the past 5 years, it allows 1 stall typically at every supercharger station for someone who might be towing in order to pull nose in and be able to have the charge port on the right side. But my LYRIQ has no way of really using this because if I back in, the charge port is on the other side, and if I nose in, it's too far away, so I'd have to leave a good portion of the car sticking out of the back of the stall. So this doesn't really solve my problem, although you would think it would. It really doesn't. Okay, so prior to coming here, you'll want to set up your My Cadillac app in order to work at Tesla Superchargers. In order to do so, it's very simple. You go into the app, you click on the little icon in the top right-hand corner in order to select your profile. You set up the charging providers. The new one is the Tesla. You go through, it's very intuitive. You just make sure that you have a payment option. And then there's a screen that says purchase the adapter. You can or can't, it's up to you. The whole question about adapters, I'm going to leave up to Tom Malogny in his video that he recently released. He did a very good job of explaining the situation. So I'm not going to go over that. But one thing I am going to go over is pricing. Because we are not Tesla owners, Tesla owner pricing does not extend to us. Tesla supercharger stations have what are known as TOU, time of use pricing. And I looked, this station was 61 cents per kilowatt hour, which is pretty darn expensive for non-Tesla owners in order to charge here. You can offset that by becoming a Tesla supercharger member, in which case discounted rates are applied to you. But every supercharger station has different rates, and those prices change and fluctuate throughout the day, depending on utilization, power, cost, lots of different things. Tesla has perfected this to a science, the ability to make break even or money on a charging station. So we have to be aware of that as well. The EV community has recently become campy, and Elon Musk's foray into politics hasn't helped the matter much. However, don't be fooled. The Tesla supercharger network is without parallel globally. There is nothing of its equal on the planet. They operate in APAC, North America, and Europe, charging stations like this. There's nobody even close. If you're looking for a place that's reliable and has the most ubiquity of chargers throughout the United States, the Tesla supercharger, and not only in the United States, you can go up into Canada and Mexico, and there's Tesla superchargers there also. So there's a very good argument, even though General Motors is putting their name on EVgo stations, that as Cadillac LYRIQ owners, you might want to become a Tesla member because it's just always available. The amenities aren't always the same as what you would find at a Pilot Flying J, but if all you're trying to do is survive a road trip and get from point A to point B, then you want the peace of mind knowing that that station is going to be there, be available, and be operational, the Tesla Supercharger network is your answer. Okay, as I mentioned, this is part 2. In part 1, I went into details about pulling nose in. I will link that video down below in the description if anyone wishes to go take a look. However, at this station, I don't need to because I have these side-mounted pedestals specifically designed for non-Teslas to charge, and that is perfectly aligned with my charge port door on the front driver's side. Let's go ahead and get plugged in. Okay, the A to Z Typhoon adapter comes with this locking mechanism, and the way it works, the recommended means of doing this is you take a cable off, you insert the Tesla cable, and then you lock it. We now have an adapter that's ready to go. You open up the charge port door, you take off the CCS pin covers, and then you connect it. Now, I do have to caution LYRIQ owners. This actuating door that pulls down can be a bit of an issue, and it's the same thing for Blazer owners who also have an actuating door. As you remove, you saw right there, I kind of caught the top of this thing. And more than once, this whole door popped off the plastic holders and landed on the ground. So when you take it off, try to be careful because there's not a lot of clearance, and that's the same thing on Magic Dock adapters. And it's because this actuating door has very little tolerance between the bottom of the adapter and the path that you take the cable out. If this door pops off, I found that it just snaps right back in. And it seems as though that it's designed to come off relatively easily without breaking. Now that my adapter is attached, and there are 3 different principal adapters. We've got the native one coming from General Motors, we've got the A to Z Typhoon, and we've got the Electron Vortex. Each one is a little bit different. The one from General Motors will just clip on and then it will release with a button on the top up here. This one has a locking mechanism on the bottom, but they're all pretty much the same. Once you get to the charging station, there's a few ways to start charging. I like to use the Tesla app though. And as you can see, I'm currently being charged 59 cents per kilowatt hour. And I say charge here. This is pedestal. Oh, what pedestal is this? 3C. Start charging. Attach the adapter and plug in. I am plugged in. I heard the connector close. Initializing charging. As I've been waiting for this to happen, I've been coming a few times, and most of the time this says, your vehicle is unauthorized. Let's see what happens this time. Oh my God, it's so freaking exciting. Sorry for screaming, but I can't tell you how long I've been waiting for that. Oh my God, I've been confronted with your vehicle is not authorized too many times to count. Let's go. Okay, now as I said, as Cadillac LYRIQ owners, we have this unfortunate low amount of clearance from the bottom of the adapter to the actuating charge port door in order to remove. And you saw right there, I bumped it. I promise you, some of you all, myself included, are going to knock this door clean off. And when you do, you'll just have to snap it back on. Once the adapter and charging cable are out, you unlock it, remove the adapter, and then put it back. One thing also to keep in mind as Cadillac LYRIQ owners when charging at Tesla Superchargers is there is no plug-in charge, no Auto Charge Plus, no way to just plug in and let it automatically start charging like Ford and Rivian owners enjoy. In the announcement today, there is no mention of it, and we don't really have details. We do know that the Cadillac LYRIQ and other GM vehicles are able to use Auto Charge Plus at EVgo stations. They do not work with the ISO 15118 currently at Electrify America stations. There's some question about that. There is plug-in charge with the EV Connect network, which assumingly uses the same as EVgo. So right now there's 2 competing technology, it seems like, for the ability to plug an electric vehicle in and have it automatically start charging on an account. So you either have to use the Tesla app or the My Cadillac app or the My GM app or the My Chevrolet app in order to initiate a charge. So that's an unfortunate side effect. It's really not that big of a deal. I mean, what we're talking about is being on a road trip and being able to charge. If it takes another 30 seconds to open an app and start a charge versus a Ford F-150 Lightning who's able to pull up and plug right in. It's really not that big of a deal, but that is something to keep in mind. Okay, one additional thing to keep in mind with Tesla Superchargers is that because Tesla is the most popular electric vehicle brand on the planet, not just in the United States, on the planet, these stations do get utilized. Although there are 17,800 stations or stalls opened up to General Motor customers as of today, September 18th, 2024, and this is what that looks like, all these pin drops up here. Even though we have that, these stations do get congested at times. And as I mentioned, they use time of use pricing, which is a combination of the energy costs and the actual utilization of the station that is affecting the price. So if you look on the Tesla app, you're going to see like some bars going up and down throughout the hours of the day. Those are the prices, but they also show when those stations are most busy. So some stations are very busy, and if you're showing up to them, you might be queued up. And if it's a station that doesn't have some of these stalls designed for non-Teslas, you're going to be using 2 stalls and perhaps upsetting someone. So it's not a no, don't go, but it's just something to be aware of. I found that Tesla owners are very accommodating people. They're very nice and supportive. So I don't think you're going to run into any problem, but it's just more polite. If there's a super busy supercharger station that has very heavy utilization during the middle of the day, and you as a CCS car have the ability to charge somewhere else, it probably makes sense to do so. So as of today, the Tesla Supercharger network is open to General Motors EV owners. That is not just Cadillac LYRIQs. It also includes the Hummers, the Silverados, the Equinox, the Blazers, and any other future EV that might be put out by General Motors. For instance, the Cadillac Optic, the Chevrolet Bolt has been a historical car that's getting bridged into these access as well. So there's a very significant increase in the number of cars that will be at these chargers. Ford, has just kind of started, but there's nothing like almost a decade worth of Bolt production that is going to really make a difference in the utilization at Tesla Supercharger networks. So there you have it, how to charge a Cadillac LYRIQ at a Tesla Supercharger station, not using a Magic Dock, but using an adapter that you have either purchased from a third party or received from General Motors. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video.